Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make the best ribs you'll ever have in your life. And it's really, really easy to do. So first thing I want to show that I'm cooking this on my brand new Char-Griller. I have charcoal on this side over here. This side over here is gas. I just got it yesterday. But let's get back to the ribs. The first thing you'll need is Bill's Seasonal. This is the most important ingredient for making your ribs. If you go to billsseasoning.com, you can get you some of this. They're not sponsoring. I just love this stuff so much that I'm just telling you where to get it. Everybody who I give this stuff to and they try it on their chicken or ribs or steaks or hamburgers, anything, they say it's the best, and it is the best. So first thing you want to do is, if you look right here, what's this say? Where's that at? It says somewhere. Where's that at? Sprinkle a generous amount. Generous. So, keyword generous. So here I have my baby back ribs. Generously sprinkle it. It's keyword generous.
Smells so good.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Flip this sucker over. Sprinkle it on the other side. Sprinkle it all over. All right, that should be good. So I've got my coals going over here. So check this out. Let me show you something real quick. So I can actually add, you can buy a smoker for like 50 bucks and you can add it on right here. You take this handle off and you take this little part out and you can put a smoker. I don't have a smoker, so I've figured out the way I do it. Like this works great. I've done this recipe for like 20 years. I've tried different variations of seasoning. I've tried Bill's with other seasonings. I've tried other seasonings, and I always go back to ribs with just Bill's. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes to let these coals get ashy, and we'll get that temperature around 325, 350 to start out with, and then we'll put these ribs on. Okay, so I got my temperature, it's around 300, it's slowly rising. Got both vents closed all the way. So let's put these ribs on real quick. So if you look down here, I have my charcoal on the right side because the vent is on the left side. So what happens is the air intake is over here where the coals are, and then it goes out this way. So you want to put your ribs on the top level of the barbecue pit, and make sure you put the thick side of the ribs towards the fire. So about every 20 to 25 minutes, I'm gonna come out here and I'm either going to rotate the ribs or I'm gonna flip them over and cook them for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the temperature, what kind of temperature I get it. I wanna keep it around 300. It's gonna start off a little hot, but it'll slowly die down. We'll come back and check them out about 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so the ribs have been on for about 25 minutes so far. Let's check them out. So far so good. So you can see the bottom. You get a little crispiness to it on the bottom. So I'm gonna flip this sucker and still keep the thick end, on the fire side. So let this go another 25 minutes. Okay, so I've had the ribs going for exactly 50 minutes. The temperature is at a steady 300, so that's perfect temperature to cook these ribs the way I want them. So it's time to flip them over. Actually, I think I'm gonna keep these, since these ribs are so thick on this one side, I'm gonna keep them toward the fire. Flip them over real quick. Actually, let's see. It's cooking pretty good down there. I'll go ahead and rotate it. Keep the meat side down, rotate it, actually put it over this way, and I think I'm gonna add a little more coals to the fire. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes since I last turned the ribs. They've been on for about an hour and 20 minutes. So now I'm going to either rotate or flip them. I just gotta check and see exactly what I wanna do. I did have to add some more charcoal to it. My fire was starting to go out a little bit, but now I've got it, it's around 325, which is between 300 and 325. That's pretty much perfect. Okay, looking good. I'm gonna flip it this way. I'm gonna actually put it meat side down. So the this fat side, the big side, can be sort of right over the coals. And I'll come back in probably another, I don't know, 25 minutes or so. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes since I last checked the ribs, and they've been on for about an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm gonna check them out and see if they're done or close to being done, and sort of decide which way I want to flip the ribs or rotate them. So let's check them out. I've had a good solid 300 degrees going pretty much this whole time. Let's open it up and see what we got here. All right, looking pretty good. See what the bottom of it look like here. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm gonna keep them facing this direction and maybe put them a little more over the fire so they can get a little more heat. Better close it before the heat goes away. On this side, on the gas side, I have some chicken, some sausage going. I probably need to flip the sausage. Looking good. This is skinless sausage, which is really good. Get the chicken a couple more minutes and then I'll flip them. But that's not what this video is about. The video is about the ribs. Okay, so the ribs have been on for exactly 2 hours, and so I'm going to take the chicken off and the sausage off first. Look at that. The sausage, a little crispy, a little burnt, just like the way we like it. Let's check out the ribs.
You lifted it up and I was like, where are they?
Perfect, perfect. Look at that. Perfect. 2 hours on the pit. That's pretty much all you need. Let's slide that right over here like this. And we'll go inside and, ow, cut these suckers up. I like to cut it with the meat side down so I can see where the bones are, so they're easier to cut. When I eat my ribs, I do not use barbecue sauce. You don't need barbecue sauce when you do ribs this way. Ribs, chicken, potatoes, sausage, and green beans. Bon appetit.